Hey, Paul, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Sean.
Yeah, all right. We've got our seven predictions for the Toronto real estate market this year. Some of our hot takes for the year.
Yeah, a great list here of what we think are going to happen in 2021.
First one for me is that low interest rates are going to be here through 2021 and probably more likely to the end of 2022. So we're going to be in this market for the next little while. Now, the Bank of Canada has pretty much called their shot. So this is not a hot take for me as much as it's the Bank of Canada has said. And of course, we always believe what the Bank of Canada says. And so the rates are going to be low for the next little while, and actually they're even talking about lowering the rate again, maybe as early as next week.
Yeah, as a micro kind of reduction. So I'm in agreement. I think we're going to continue seeing low interest rates to stimulate all sectors of the economy.
Yeah, I think that there's no benefit for them to raise interest rates until the economy is well underway and well back to expected where it should be, and that's definitely not going to happen for the you know, next year or more for sure.
Yeah. Now, to play kind of devil's advocate, if we saw any kind of rapid increase in inflation or consumer debt, do you see Bank of Canada pulling the trigger sooner?
They absolutely could they absolutely could make an adjustment earlier than that if for some reason we start to really, all the vaccines get everybody back to work and the tourism starts picking up, the economy really starts to blow up. Absolutely. They could shift gears and start raising the interest rates. But from the sounds of it, there nobody's expecting that to happen, at least this year. So my prediction, 2021, low interest rates. The other thing was like the dollar is way up above what they're expecting it to be, and that's not good for our exporters. So if they were to increase the interest rates, would make their borrowing more expensive, makes the dollar more expensive. It's just not the environment that the interest rate is going to go up in for this year.
Yeah, no, we're in agreement. I think for all sectors, like you said, whether it's exports, imports, real estate, low interest rates is going to help the economy.
Absolutely. Number two, this is one I hear a lot that once the benefits end, once CERB ends, once the government stops pumping money into people's pockets, that there's going to be this mass flood of people defaulting on their mortgages, and the property prices are going to go down. Have you heard that one?
I did hear that, and I heard of the same thing with the deferral cliff for mortgages that
Right.
also didn't come true. And I think what we're seeing from, I guess, from the counterintuitive point of this is that Canadians were prudent little savers through 2020. Canadian savings in the first quarter were at 7%. By the end of the third quarter, it was at 28%. So that money that Canadians were collecting and not spending on additional things was put away.
Yeah, put it in your pocket. If you can't go out anywhere, you can't go on vacation, can't go out with friends. It's amazing how much money people put away. And because there is this environment, people have money in their pockets. And so the fact that all of a sudden we're going to go off this cliff and everybody's going to defer on their mortgages would create this lump of supply. We haven't seen that so far. We haven't seen the benefits ending. People want to hang on to their houses, and Canadians always pay their mortgage first. So to believe that there's going to be this mass flood is just not going to happen. So that's my
No.
my second hot take.
Yeah, and I'm in full agreement. I think it's just more kind of fear, pandemonium, and that really, with the environment that we were in for all of last year, Canadians stayed very conservative. There was a lot of temporary layoffs that people jumped onto CERB payments, but didn't actually end up going back to work or going to work online. So I think we're okay from that perspective.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's where we're going to be at. So what about the condo market? We saw a 10% decrease in the condo market last year. What's your take on that one?
Yeah, so this is projection number three, where I think condo prices will start to increase in 2021. I think we started seeing towards the end of Q3 and all of Q4, prices had come down for condos about 10%. And I'm seeing right now, being on the ground level, buyers getting really excited, jumping back in, investors also trying to take advantage of opportunity of the lowered prices for condos.
Yeah, we even saw it at the end of December where a lot of condos were sold in December. Investors started to come back into the market and we started to see those prices start to creep back up. So although it was down for the year, it kind of did one of these where it looped back up at the end of the year. Now we're not back to where it was in February before the pandemic, but we're starting to see that return. And I'm with you. I think that we're going to be back at it. And especially if immigration starts getting turned back on, people start coming back into the city, we'll see those prices start to return.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
So the next one, rental rates. So we saw everybody's rents fell in 2020, and that was one of the drivers that had some investors leaving the market. Um, I'm predicting them to be flat with the opportunity to go up in 2021. Are you more bullish on that one than I am?
I feel I'm about the same in that really we're going to probably see flat rents stay flat until the end of the year when we actually start seeing vaccines getting rolled out. So we probably won't see increases probably till the end of 2021 or really till the start of 2022.
Okay, so you're saying pretty much flat throughout the year, but not necessarily. So your crystal ball is a little hazy on this one. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, no, it's going to stay flat. I don't see any growth. I think for the year, it's going to this will be the new equilibrium.
Okay.
And we saw a lot of properties lease actually in terms of compared with to 2019 to 2020, the number of properties that are actually leased in the city, for, especially for condos, almost doubled. And that a lot of it was just lateral movement of people taking advantage of the lower rates in new places. And so I see a demand of people still wanting to stay downtown and live downtown.
Mhm.
And I think we've kind of reached that bottom out point, and it's been for the last few weeks of the fourth quarter, rents have flatlined.
But I think we could probably both agree that, Canadian, at least people in Ontario are going to be bored of being downtown when there's nothing to do down there. And they're going to look at, for some cottages and secondary properties outside the city. Do you see that trend continuing?
Yeah, I agree with prediction number 5 there with increase in secondary properties. I absolutely. I think come summertime when it's cottage time and we're still, no vaccine's been rolled out and people are looking for things to do, it'll be the go-to place for a lot of Ontarians.
Yeah, isn't like Prince Edward County and like a huge seller's market right now? Like kind of unprecedented. I guess cottage properties in general are in high demand.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are mostly outside my sector, but yeah, I get the same anecdotes where Prince Edward County, Muskoka have all just massive increases year over year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I think still people are wondering, maybe I missed out on a cottage. I don't want to spend another winter, or I don't want to spend the whole summer just in the city. And I can see people looking at secondary properties like cottages.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, yeah, number 6. I guess this is kind of a continuation of number 5, but I'm going to call this a second prediction anyway. People will continue to escape the downtown core. So people that were in condos may be looking to move out to the suburbs a little bit. Do you see that continue, or kind of still staying? There's still enough of a demand for people to stay in the city.
No, I still see the suburban kind of exodus happening for 2021. And a lot of that is, again, vaccine based. Until the city's amenities and work offices start opening back up, we're not going to see that people come back into the city. So some of the biggest benefactors from 2020 was the Halton region, was Durham, 17% year over year growth in those areas and increased transactions by like double digits. So I think we're going to continue seeing that. And it's not that necessarily the city as a whole. We still saw increased sales for freeholds in the city, but it was the condo market that took the biggest hit during that time.
Yeah, I agree. I think people will see the benefit of places in the suburbs, especially if they don't need to get in their car every day and travel down. They can work from home. I see that continuing, at least for the next year.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm predicting so I made this prediction in an article last. I put it out there that we're gonna have a normal real estate market this year, meaning like slow in the winter, busy in the spring, slow in the summer, and then busy again in the fall. And then the next week we had the state of emergency announced, and I'm now a little nervous. My crystal ball is a little hazy on this one. Tell me I'm right with this prediction.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're right with this one. And
Okay.
why I say that is because the timing of the stay-at-home order. So the first time it came right on the heels of the spring market. So it was end of March, and everyone was gearing up for a busy fall spring market, and it was totally just shut down. This time we're being shut down in the winter. So January is already typically slow for new listings and um, buyer sales. I think this is going to just create a slower winter market and a frenzied spring market when things open back up.
My only worry about this is that the summer won't be slow. It's going to just, we're going to ramp up in the spring and we're just going to continue right on throughout the fall. So that's my only kind of, I'm worried that there's going to be no, just no lull in the summer because everybody's still in the city. Nobody's going on vacation really.
That'll be a big, I guess, factor in it. What the summer market's going to be. Look, I guess we can put that as our question mark on the prediction. But I think most time, I think summertime, people are eager to get out and get back to life. So I have a feeling that come July, August, likely kids will be going back to school at some point this year, and will need a break from being inside. They're going to get outside, go to their cottages. So I see a kind of a still a lull. Maybe instead of July, it starts end of July and August, and then picks back up in September when the
Right.
vaccine kind of gets rolled out.
Well, it was great. Those are our 7 predictions for the real estate market. I'm feeling very confident about these predictions. So we'll see if if we're right at the end of the year.
We'll review this at the end of the year, and if we're off, won't mention it ever again. If
Exactly.
we're right, we'll bring it up.
That's right. Exactly. So we'll see if this comes up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. See you next time, Paul.
You too, Sean. Take care.
Bye.